I did.
All right. Welcome, everyone, to the Power of Podcast, Episode 3. I am here with Grace, Blake, and Nick. Say hi, guys.
Hey, beauties.
Hey. I'm
Jack
wearing my
would
glasses
be with
tonight.
us. Jack would be with us, but he's moving into college. So, yeah, fun times for Jack. He'll be here next episode, so hopefully. So, last we left off, we were talking about the veto and who we thought would, how we thought the ceremony would go. Obviously, Enzo did not use the veto, and that left Kevin Campbell and Keisha Smith on the block. And by a vote of 13-0, Keisha Smith was evicted from Big Brother All-Stars 2. Good week or a bad week? Or week?
Bad week.
I think it's a bad week for sure, just because she's loved by so many, and so many people have been waiting for her to come back, but she wasn't really putting the oomph into staying, so it was disappointing.
That's what I was gonna say. I call it a meh week, is what I call it, because like I still like Keisha. Don't get me wrong, but go ahead, Nick.
So allegedly, they had a $40,000 stipend.
Yeah.
To appear because I had to be there for 2 months because of COVID and everything. They wanted to make sure everybody was
alleged. I think that's fact, is it not?
I that's what I've heard as well.
Just for legal purposes.
Okay, fair enough.
And
anyway.
So, I don't blame her for not trying, because if I found out I was getting 40% of what the grand prize was anyways, then it wouldn't really bother me as much. Because at the end of the day, or not 40%, what am I talking about? But if I'm getting $40,000 anyways, then it doesn't really matter to me. Not just me, at least. At the end of the day, they're not winning millions and millions of dollars. This isn't the lottery. You're going home with $500,000, which I may be wrong, but some of these people make in 2 or 3 years anyways. So Janelle's a realtor. Memphis owns a bunch of restaurants, so it's not like they don't make money. 37. So it's not like they don't make money. These people are here to get their name out more and try and play a better game than they did play, unless it's less about the money this time around.
I agree, but I still think, we can fault Keisha for not trying.
Oh, absolutely.
But I really don't think that it is because of the money. I don't think she didn't try because of the money. I think she didn't try because she genuinely thought that she was kind of safe, and she didn't want to do anything to rock the boat, to make the vote on her. That's what I think she was doing. But I don't think she realized Kevin was going around making deals until the day before, where I know a lot of stuff happened. And I actually haven't been able to watch the feeds for the past 3 days, so I'm a little behind. I know the basics. I know kind of what happened, but
I'm over the feeds right now.
See, I definitely think that Keisha, we've come to find out that Keisha was asked a couple weeks before the season started.
Mm-hmm.
And I genuinely don't think she was excited to come back, because I don't think, she's been out of the Big Brother community for so long. So I don't think that she really wanted to come back. I actually do think the money was enticing for her to come back, because a rumor that I've heard, I can't say, I can't confirm anything, but what I've heard is that she's out of work right now due to COVID-related reasons. So
she's a waitress, yes.
Yeah, so that was some a good reason for her to come back.
Question though, are they still getting their weekly stipend?
I don't know.
Because if they're getting their weekly stipend on top of it, then why wouldn't you want to stay? I don't know. That's just
I think another reason.
No, I don't believe it's a weekly stipend. I believe that they're just there for
just the 40K.
I think she like left too because like to go back on it like she didn't mind leaving because so many people were saying this in the premiere episode and I can agree with, and I think we mentioned it on in one of the past episodes, but people were like saying she didn't look like she was in her element and that she looked like she did not want to be there. And I could kind of see where they're coming from because like during that premiere and everything, she looked very uncomfortable.
Yeah, I mean, if I walked in the Big Brother house and saw Nicole Franzel, I would not want to be there either.
I mean, I do think that she didn't want to necessarily be back again, but after she was actually back again, she got into it a little bit because you saw how like upset she was when she was evicted.
She was crying.
I do also want to add that you guys have to think about like other reality shows and how people who hadn't played the game for 10 years came back. Like Winners at War is the perfect example. Survivor, Winners at War. The people who didn't play for years on end, like years and years and years ago, were the first people out because you have to understand that the game evolves. And it's sad, but it's true. Like the way some of the people are playing right now isn't going to work in the long haul because it's a completely different game.
No, yeah, you're.
I mean, right. not even the people that some of us don't like. Some of the people we do like, people like Janelle and Kaser, who want two sides. Like that's a different time.
Yeah, but we want it.
Yes, like it's a different time, and I can see that. Like, and that's exactly it. Winners at War is the perfect example. Guess who all went home first? The old schoolers. They literally all went out back to back to back to back.
Sure.
And it just left the new schoolers there to fight for the crown.
I'm gonna nod and agree because I don't watch Survivor. So, let's see. So after Keisha is evicted, which I think, we all wanted to see Keisha come back and play again, but I don't think Keisha wanted to see herself back and wanted to play again. At least not as hard as Kevin did. Kevin, while I don't think he had a great campaign, he had a campaign, and that's what got him to stay. It just takes
yeah.
And Kevin also has, unlike Keisha, not only did he have a campaign, but he literally has the Aquadorkables. He has an alliance, and he has and he has his allies with other people that would keep him.
So then we have what, in my opinion, the cringiest HOH competition of all time.
It was very stupid.
I hate how they have repeated this competition for like the past 3 years for the second HOH. I want them to mix up the comps. Give us something else. Give us like that. I would even take like that slingshot comp that they do every once in a while early on. Give us something else. Like I'm sick of 5 quiz competitions or memory competitions throughout the season. Like give us other things. Like,
well, not even that, but could they not that was literally like one of the cringiest things I've ever seen.
Oh, the videos were so bad.
If people were like just watching Big Brother for the first time, that would be a turn off for me. Like I would not want to come back for another episode if the comps were like that. I'm sorry. Like I don't pay too much attention to the comps anyways, but as long as they're not overbearingly bad. But seriously, that was I was watching it with a couple of my friends later on because I wasn't able to watch the episode live, and they were like, what the fuck is happening? They couldn't understand what was going on, and I don't think the audience did either. What do we think about freaking Uncle Vito and Granny and all of them?
I think
I will be right back. Just give me 2 seconds.
I think they wanted to find a way to bring alien Grandma Man back into the season somehow, because he's a quote unquote fan fave.
So, by who?
Yeah, he's.
I forget he exists every time, and then when he comes back, I'm like, oh fuck, we got to deal with this guy again.
I did not. I was not a big fan of that competition either. It was pretty cringeworthy.
And not only do we get a cringy comp, like we got a cringy ass
Got a
winner on
cringy
top of
winner.
it.
So Memphis, one half of the commission, wins this competition, and oh boy, we get a Memphis HOH. What everyone was asking for. Yeah, no one. I don't think anyone wanted. Does Memphis have fans? Do you guys know? Are there any Memphis fans?
Do you hear the crickets? I know I do.
Yeah.
The Facebook Karens.
Even
Oh.
my friend who's from Memphis doesn't like Memphis. So, like, I mean, that should be that.
Immediately when Memphis won the first flight, I thought I had, Janelle and Kaser are screwed.
I thought that too. I was like, rip Janelle and Kaser. However, that doesn't seem to be the case. So, yay, Memphis, I guess. So I would like someone else to kind of take over from here because, like I said, I haven't been able to watch the feeds, and while I know kinda what happened, I probably
Thanks to
wouldn't give the
me.
best story. So one of you two go ahead and say what happened after Memphis won HOH.
So basically, Memphis has been creating a bunch of distrust within his alliance. He purposely wanted to get like some of them to play the safety suite competition to make it look like they weren't working together. Which after he did that, do you care if I say who won the safety suite right now, or do you want to wait?
He already knows.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
I know.
I caught him up last night.
And that's why Christmas won the safety suite and decided to save Ian, who was Memphis's target. And after that, Memphis has been going on a downward spiral. He's been very condescending with every single one of his alliance members. And the way that he's going about trying to save Cater also creating
And we're back.
distrust between his alliance.
You cut out a little bit there, Blake.
Oh, so basically how he's trying to like not listen to his alliance at all and save Janelle and Kaser is, and the way he's talking to his alliance is very condescending. And I think people are starting to not like him as much.
Good.
But I'm happy he's not gonna put up Janelle or Kaser. However, he is turning into Devin Shepard.
Okay, so
Very, very much that. We're talking about Memphis, I take it?
yeah, I was just kind of getting caught up on what's been happening on the feeds because I only know a little bit of what happened.
He only knows of what I told
about the David
him.
moment? Are we talking about the David moment?
No, not yet.
Have we gotten to that? Okay.
I do want to discuss that though, but we'll talk about that after Nom because that happened right after Nom.
Well,
Sorry.
there are two David moments. The first one happened during his have-nots.
Okay.
And when he named David and said, "Welcome to Big Brother," which is a little rude and disrespectful. Like, we understand David isn't the biggest all-star in the game. That's not a shock to anybody. But like David had said after the second incident, he's a 30-year-old man. He doesn't deserve to be treated like a child.
That's just out. And another Memphis note I want to say on the whole Christmas saving Ian thing. He immediately after Ian got saved, he got very upset with Nicole F because Memphis thinks that she had some kind of influence to why Christmas picked to save Ian.
And did she?
Yeah, did she?
Like,
I think she did.
Okay. Well, good. This is the one time I will congratulate Nicole Franzel on doing something good.
Well, the only issue is the only time she ever did something good, it kind of blew up her game.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But let's see. So Memphis is appearing to have HOH-itis, I'm assuming.
Yes.
And does it look like next week people might flip on Memphis and try and get him out. Has anyone mentioned that in the house?
I don't believe so, but Memphis seems to be the first person that alliance is going to take out once it gets to that level, which is why, like, Memphis had mentioned on the feeds that he was going to backdoor Janelle or Kaser, and then I believe Cody all today has been talking to him about backdooring Janelle, which I believe is not in Kaser's best interest because Kaser will not get to the end if he backdoors Janelle this early in the game.
Wait, Kaser? Wait, I'm sorry.
No,
What?
not Kaser, Memphis. Memphis will
Oh,
not get to the end if he backdoors Janelle
okay.
this early into the game.
I was about to say, Kaser's trying to backdoor Genoa. Okay, so Memphis then goes on. Nothing. So Christmas wants a safety suite, saves Ian. Does anything happen between then and nominations? Anything?
Did Memphis what?
I'm saying, did anybody like do it? Did something of importance happen after the safety suite comp, or after Christmas saves Ian, basically, but before Memphis's nominations?
Memphis found out that Nicole F was the one who told Christmas to save Ian because Ian was his target going into safety suite.
So would he not target Nicole F?
He doesn't want to target Nicole F because Nicole F is a part of that alliance.
Yeah, but he did mention, I think I saw something on Twitter where he was talking about like he kind of wants Nicole F to possibly leave because of what she did.
Good.
But I don't think she's going to. He's not going to put her up.
Look, I say these aside comments because I just don't want another Big Brother 21. And some of these people give me Big Brother 21 vibes. I'm not saying that they are racist or that they are, bullies or whatnot, but I get the vibe that some of these people would be willing to at least let it happen. And if you have people like that in the house, like Memphis, like Nicole F., like Cody, then it kind of starts becoming toxic after a while. And I don't want to have to deal with that all summer. Do you guys agree with me here?
I agree with that. You also forgot Danny as well because she said some stuff too.
What has Danny been saying? I thought Danny
she said Ian was using his autism to in the game. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I actually forgot about that because of how she handled the David situation with
And Kevin's been kind of going on that level by talking very badly about Janelle.
Great. Awesome. Well,
I think he called her a predator earlier, if I am not mistaken.
Also, apparently, according to what I'm reading, Memphis grabbed David or something.
What do you mean grabbed him?
I guess physical contact was made.
Because to harm him?
I don't think to harm him. But Danny has basically said that he's trash and he's the worst alliance member, and Nicole F doesn't want to associate with him. So I guess it was pretty bad. I don't know. I'm just reading up though.
Did that just happen?
That happened 5 hours ago.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'll find out on the live morning update whenever I read that. But yikes. Okay, so a lot of controversial stuff seems to be happening in the house. But we move on to the nominations that Memphis makes, and he nominates Nicole A. and David. Why? Why does he nominate Nicole A. and David? Does anyone understand these noms?
I really don't get it because to me,
I kind of get Nicole A.
They're not even threats. The threats in the house right now at all.
Well, I kind of understand that, but sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine. I think that in a way, which I don't know if this is his plan or not, but I don't know if he's trying to like kind of cut a leg off of Janelle, so to speak, but still have Janelle on his side because he knows there could be a potential for an old school thing. I'm not sure if that's what he's trying to do because he knows that, well, and I don't even think that would be a good strategy because Janelle's going to bat for Nicole A, and Nicole's just going and talking about Janelle badly to people. So I don't even think that would be a good strategy. And apparently for David, he said something really condescending during the nomination ceremony.
Wait, David did? David said something? Memphis.
Memphis did. He said something about this being a grown-up table and you have to earn your place or something like that.
Yeah. Was it the comment that Nick said or whatever? Welcome to
No, that was a separate occasion, and then he was like, "Welcome to the grown-ups table" after he nominated him. It's just a bunch of like. So what's being said online is like Memphis likes to make really passive-aggressive comments to Bailey and David specifically because he doesn't like them.
Why is he like Bailey? Didn't he originally want her in his alliance thingy?
I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying speculation.
Well,
I get that, but
he's been really passive aggressive with people like Christmas and people like
the insinuation is that he doesn't have respect for women.
well, I mean, we can kind of. Do you remember during Keisha's birthday when Memphis? There's a cut in that clip where it goes to kind of Memphis and Dan sitting on a couch, and Dan's just sitting there reading the Bible, and then Memphis gets up and is like, "This is what you get when you put 30-year-old women in the house." Da 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 da. If y'all remember that from Big Brother.
Do you also remember during Keisha's eviction when he refused to look at Keisha or speak to her or let her know that he was doing it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And remember, Jerry has called him a misogynist. I mean,
Yes, Jerry.
he didn't just get that from nowhere.
and I'm starting
Jerry
to believe
might be a clown, but
He also like
okay,
and
Jerry's
also,
a fucking legend, okay?
also and, well, here's the other thing about the Bailey if Nicole A or David come down, she's the renom.
Right.
That's not true. I don't believe.
That's what he said he was doing. And actually he also mentioned Davon as well for a renom.
Well, the other 5 and the 6 are really pushing for a Janelle Kaser renom.
Janelle or Kaser will not go up. He's basically like went to.
I know he's been shutting like everybody in his alliance down about it, but I don't know because veto's going to be tomorrow, and then the veto ceremony is going to be what's today? Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, or Monday, something like that.
Wait, veto's tomorrow? Isn't veto played on Saturday?
Or it might be tonight. I'm not sure.
I think they might. I've heard that they're going to hold off because there's a like big heat wave.
They might be doing a nighttime veto.
Unless they do the one where they had to go in the black box or something.
I don't think they'll do that. I just think it'll be like one that's played at night and they're going to get lights and light up the backyard.
Also, I've heard that if one of the noms come down, Kevin would be the renom.
Oh, I heard that too. Wait, speaking of veto,
all I know is all last night, Cody and like Memphis was really for putting up Kaser, but I think Cody now like that whole 5 wants them to put up Janelle, and I really don't think he wants to do that.
He's not.
No,
I don't. That's why I said like I think like people were saying Devin Shepard should be in the All-Stars house for being entertaining the first like 3 weeks of BB16. We're getting like a reincarnated Devin Shepard.
Yeah, but Devin was like funny.
I guess.
Well, the issue with Memphis is you can't make a 6-person alliance and then go against every single thing those 6 people say, especially when somebody's like looking at it from a complete objective standpoint and not putting my feelings into it. If these 2 people are coming at 4 of the 6 people in your alliance, and if they win, one of your alliance members is going home, why are you not targeting them? And if you look at it, it's because Memphis, he won HOH, so he has to show his cards, and his cards are that he's dipping his hands in too many candy jars.
The thing is, Memphis should not have won HOH. I don't know why he went for it.
I just want to say, speaking of veto comps, we're going to go back to week 1 for a second. Could we talk about how how many jokes were made in the process of that whole competition.
Yeah,
There were
Enzo,
so many things I was thinking.
Enzo riding the banana was funny as fuck. I'm sorry.
peppers. I will admit the veto comp was good.
It was good, but there was. I literally was like, "Big Brother, did you really have? Do you
No.
really want the audience thinking stuff thinking
Oof.
stuff that's not related to the veto comp?"
Yes, they
So-
do that all the time, though.
So veto players are Memphis, David, Nicole A, Ian, Nicole F, and Tyler,
Let's go.
which
Ian.
means if Nicole F or Tyler win, they're gonna try and take one of them off, and Memphis is gonna be forced to name a renom.
What about
So
Ian?
like,
Do we know what happened?
Yeah, I was thinking, would Ian take
Did he use
Nicole
it on
A down?
or David
I
potentially?
don't think so.
I know he
I'm not.
put up
I'm
two.
very unsure because I know Ian's very like to the other side of the house or the one side of the house, so he might do what Nicole F wants, but I'm once again I'm not sure.
I think wouldn't Tyler save David? Did you guys already say that?
Tyler will save David. Tyler is very adamant of wanting David off the block, and that's like I didn't think I would like Tyler as much as I've liked his gameplay so far, but I've really enjoyed
I think
Tyler.
I actually think Tyler is like in the best position in that house right now.
Not
by
only is he
far.
the best position in the house because he better stay that way because I bought 20 stock in him on the stock watch that RHAP does, but he's actually kind of standable this season. He's one of the few non-toxic people on the other side of the house.
It's weird because it's like you can see the toxic masculinity of like every other big beefy male in that house, and like Enzo has chilled out really well with how he like comparatively of how he was on 12. I was watching some Enzo videos of him on 12, and I remembered why I fucking hated Enzo, and then. But watching him like on the live feeds, he's really cool. He talks to everybody. Yeah. He's really social, and I really enjoy him. But like watching Tyler back from 20 and watching him now, it's like a completely different person. Like he used to be like, what was that, Blake? You're cutting out.
I was just gonna say I will say that like from last week to this week, my opinions on Tyler have like flipped a complete 180 because now
I feel very similarly.
Like I really like Tyler now, and I didn't think I'd say that this season, but like the way that he defended David after the nomination ceremony and was talking to the cameras, he was really pissed of how Memphis treated David.
That's the thing about Tyler. Here's the thing with him, like in Big Brother 20, I never really found him, except for the little fight he got in with Bailey, I never really found him toxic, and this season I don't find him the same way either.
I think with 20, I just didn't like his gameplay as much as I didn't like him as a person. I felt like with this season, him being in that alliance, I just assumed that he was just gonna like be their lapdog and do whatever they wanted, and that's definitely not the case.
No, I wouldn't think he would be I don't think he would be a lapdog. I don't think Tyler is going to be a lapdog. To me, he comes off as too much, and he showed this in 20. He comes off too much as a leader type and likes to do things on his own. And that's kind of how he was, what I picked up off him. So I wouldn't expect him to do it with these people.
Another person that shocked me during that whole thing was Danny, because then like I remembered why I stand Danny so hard, because there was a moment in the back room.
That's where I wanted to get to next. Yeah, go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
There was a moment in the back room where David walked in to get something, and Cody got up and like kind of escorted him out of the room, and Danny like screamed at Cody, and I was like, okay, this is the Danielle Donato that I remember him like.
Now, this moment, I still don't understand what was happening.
So when you look at it from like inside the room, it doesn't look like he's escorting him out at all. It looks like he like has his arms around him and is going to follow him out of the room. But like, if you look at it from the second room, Cody literally opens the door, stands by the door, and goes to close it after David walks out of the room.
Right, yeah. Like, from what I saw, the angle I saw, he grabs him around the neck and like pats him on the chest or whatever, like whatever bro guys do, I guess.
Yeah.
Walks him to the door, kind of like I think he like pushes his hand. I'm not 100% if he did that. He may just have like let go of him and didn't like push him out. And then he starts to close the door, and then I hear Danny's like, "What?" Like I forget what.
Like,
exactly.
what the fuck are you doing? Why are you like? He can be in here if he wants to.
See, I can definitely see both sides to this. I don't know if Cody was necessarily trying to escort him out,
Me either.
but
It's hard to tell.
I think he was trying to put his arm around him, like comfort him, because that's like David just got nominated, so I think he was trying to do like the whole bro comforting thing. And David was getting clothes out of his dresser, so I think he was going to shower, and that's why Cody kind of was walking with him. But at the same time, the angles, like I can understand why people are saying it looks like Cody's escorting. I don't know if that was necessarily like what he intended.
Yeah, I was just about to say, consciously, I don't think Cody like realized what he was doing, and like, but I do think subconsciously it was like, I don't want this person in here while we're having a conversation, so he can go. And that's how it looked. And I also feel like, oh my god, I just lost my train of thought. Somebody else go.
What I was gonna say is I don't think that it's weird. Like to me, it really looked like Cody was escorting him out because I didn't see David go towards the door until Cody put his arm.
Yeah, David was talking to them, and David put his arm around him and started walking him out. And that's what I just.
Danny said something to him, or whoever, I forget. There was another girl in that room. Was it Christmas, Nicole F?
It was Christmas or Nicole F. I can't remember which one.
And I think
if it was not whining, then it was Christmas.
I don't remember what it is, but either way, like they're like talking to him, and then Cody does that, and then Danny. I know Danny's the one that speaks up after.
It felt very like, I feel like if it was a newbie season, like people would have just let that happen, and that would have just been okay. But I feel like
100%, I can agree with that.
Somebody like Danny, who has been on 3 seasons now, and the first 2 seasons she was in, she was there for a majority of the time. The first one, she was there the whole time and knows how she comes off as a bully. And then the second time she was there and like played the villain again. I feel like Danny's really trying hard to like show America that like she's not that like rude, nasty, like mean person that like Big Brother tends to paint her as.
I still don't think that's working out.
I do think that she talks a lot about other people, but I think deep down, like, she's not for the bullying. She's not for the BB21-esque gameplay of like, let's just kick people out of rooms.
Yeah, I remember.
Watching it was very.
Looks at what she said about Ian.
I mean, yeah, but like watching that myself, that was very triggering of like, so David's going to be the new Nicole A. Like, he's just going to be kicked out of rooms and not allowed to talk to people. And seeing that Danny stood up to him.
And I remember like I also remember during Big Brother 21 when all the bullying and stuff was when they were doing. I remember she was on Twitter making comments like about the ones who were being racist and everything. Like she was like, "That's not okay."
I think Danny, like, there's a difference between talking shit about people and being an actual fucking bully.
Yeah.
And I think Danny saw that was potential for like actual fucking bullying to occur, and that's why she shut it down as hard as she did.
Other than the Ian comment she made, I don't think she's been too much of like a bully. She just talks shit about other people, which is fine.
See, and
I mean, everybody in the house talks shit about people.
That's also why I was saying that, like, I can also see the other side of the argument where Cody does look like he was escorting David out of the room, because it very much does look like that from
Danny's reaction.
Outside. Yeah, the outside angle definitely does look like that.
And when you look at the type of person David is versus the type of person Cody is, I mean, it's not that big of a jump to like think.
I mean, Cody's an anti-masker, like.
Cody's the type of person that doesn't think COVID is real.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Imagine not thinking it's real. All the Trump supporters.
Anyways, not here to talk politics.
Yeah.
Either way. So yeah, that did not look good for Cody. But kind of going back into the game talk, why would he said his target is David, right?
Yeah.
Why? Why?
Good question.
I mean,
Guy that's a first boot. Let's
if
get
you
him
want me to answer
second
this
boot.
question, we're gonna have to get into political talk.
Well, look, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it was for a racial-related reason at all, especially with just who Memphis is. Like,
There's this thing I was talking to people in a thread about on Twitter, and somebody had mentioned and said, why is it that every single one of the first few weeks, a person of color has to go on the block?
Yep.
And I talked about it, and like we were talking about how in 15 fucking years of Big Brother, a person of color has not made it into the jury phase, which I don't know how true that is, because
Well,
Kevin's
I think
technically a person of color. So
I think it's a male person.
a male person of color, but Kevin is a
Man,
person
I was
of
about
color.
to say we had female female
I was scared of
POCs made the
POCs.
jury,
Mhm.
but males, yes.
I don't know how true that is, because Kevin is a person of color and he was on 11 years ago. But like in 10 years, a male POC has not been on jury.
And I think only one of them was due to their gameplay, being Devin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Devin just played a
Swaggy
Oh,
and
it's
Jose,
kind of
too.
swaggy seeing. Oh, wait, no, Caitlyn was being an idiot. That's
Yeah, that was.
Jose was also taken out for his gameplay as well.
Oh, Jose was annoying.
Okay, but the issue.
Hispanic.
The issue is that a person of color always tends to be on the block in the early weeks of Big Brother.
They're either on the block or they go home. Yeah, and that is a problem I've seen with Big Brother.
Mm-hmm.
That's why if I ever get into the Big Brother house, my strategy is literally to make an alliance with all the POCs. But either way,
why can't we get? Why do we have to have such a stereotypical cast every single season? Why can't we have?
I think casting directors look at like who's the prettiest. Like if you've noticed how Big Brother is, like the first few seasons of Big Brother didn't have the most
best looking people.
They didn't have you're a model, you're hot as fuck, you're in the cast.
Yeah. And if you look at the last few seasons of Big Brother, you can tell that casting like has definitely took a huge turn in the way they cast people. It's not who's the best players for Big Brother. It's who gets them the best ratings on looks.
Mm-hmm. And
who's
the
most
best
standable person because of the cutest.
And who's basically coming in the house to get all they want is Instagram followers.
See,
and
I don't
to
know about
me
you guys,
personally,
I don't know about you guys, but like I would rather have a cast that is full of a bunch of players rather than looking at a bunch of pretty people.
No recruits.
I think
recruiting.
I think like this is kind of weird, but like I also think that's kind of why this season is pretty solid, because yes, they've played before, but it's also not who's the prettiest. And this is controversial. This is a controversial opinion, but I kind of think that's why 15 was so bad in terms of like personalities and the way what people did on the season and like on a personal level, because they didn't think to like check these people's backgrounds and think of like, oh, how are they going to react with this type of person in the house, or how would they react with this type of person? It was just, let's pick the prettiest 16 people and throw them in a house and see how they react to people. Which like
Spencer Clausen, one of the prettiest.
Shut up.
Speaking of 16, Big Brother 16 was also full of 15 recruits and one person that applied. So
that was the person that applied.
No, not quite.
Are you sure?
Donnie applied. Derek applied. Nicole F applied.
Yeah, I was gonna say, didn't Nicole F is like a super fan of the show?
Yeah, so is Donnie, and so is Derek.
I know. A majority of the cast was recruited for that.
A majority was. I think Frankie applied as well. I think he was a fan of the show.
Oh, Frankie's a Big Brother fan. But
I don't believe that Frankie would apply for Big Brother. I believe that he would be recruited and absolutely want to play.
He's a maybe. He's a maybe.
And now that I think about it, literally, I think 19 had literally almost that whole cast was recruited. Because I remember seeing their interviews.
Cameron.
They didn't know who these people were.
Cameron's the one guy, and he was night one evictions.
Was Ramses recruited?
No, Ramses is man.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
Ramses is also
And I
a
think
gay
and
person of color that fit a quota.
Jessica also applied
That's
because
good.
she released a video on YouTube applying for
That's good.
Big Brother. And
No,
Cody,
seeing for gay.
and then Cody's situation is weird. He got recruited, but he applied for Survivor, but the casting directors for Survivor were like, "Hey, try Big Brother." And that's how he,
That happens a lot. That
Mhm.
happens a lot in reality TV, where like
Yeah.
somebody will apply to the challenge and they'll be like, "You're more suited for like this series," or "You're more like," somebody applies for Big Brother and they'll be like, "Try the challenge," or "Try Survivor," or "Try Amazing Race." Like, if I get a person and try this thing.
It's like John and Jacqueline from Blood versus Water 2 originally applied for The Amazing Race, but they got put on Survivor. So it's like all these casting pools are
Thank God.
honestly just mixed together.
Oh
Especially
yeah, and
yeah.
then 21, I think literally almost all of them were recruited too. So
I just
Yeah.
find it stupid to sit there and act like it's kind of like a slap in the face to the fandom to ask them to apply to your game if you're just going to recruit 90% of the cast.
I definitely agree with that, and it's just like I get like they want to have a mix in there, but literally the way I look at it is like the recruits. I think recruiting people is like I don't agree with it, and the like a lot of people are like, oh, recruits like make the season like it won't be filled with a bunch of game by we yada yada yada. But the reason I don't like it is because there's different types of personalities that apply to be on Big Brother, and the people who apply to be on Big Brother, their goal to play Big Brother. That's what they're there to do. And the fact that it seems like they're being written off when casting wants to be like, hey, let's recruit all these hot models and make the show eye candy, so that's how we get more viewers. And all they're there for is for Instagram followers and for fame. They're not there to play Big Brother.
Nothing pisses me off more than turning on my feeds the first day feeds are available and having somebody ask how the game works. And that's almost happened every single season in recent years. And it's just so infuriating. Including David.
Like,
Okay. So I know the very first podcast we did, I said that I think David was just clueless about the game, but Twitter, the person running his Twitter is actually saying that was his strategy going in. So maybe
I knew that.
Maybe he is. And also for the whole super fan thing, I think that why can't we get a season full of super fans? We would eliminate.
Oh, that would be so fun.
We would eliminate that whole I'm scared to not vote with the majority thing, because the super fans wouldn't give a fuck. Like
they're gonna be there to play.
We'd have more split votes. Like
half of them would care. Half of them would, because half of them would try to play like the recent seasons, and then half of them would be like, "Fuck that, I'm doing my own thing." Kind of like what Ian said he's going to do in this season. But
I would really like to see a fans versus faves style Big Brother game where it's like 8 of your favorite players, 8 super fans, and actual super fans, not people who are recruited as super fans.
People like us.
People who play Big Brother online, like online reality game players.
I don't know how much I can talk about this, so I'm gonna make this very brief. I got to I have the sequester deal where I get to talk to Audrey once a month about casting advice for Big Brother and such. And I straight up asked her, I said, hey, is doing and playing and hosting orgs a plus or a negative? She said it's a negative in the Big Brother because what she told me was that people that are casting, they don't think that they're like, oh, you play online games, that means you can't get along with people in real life. She said that's how they think. So she told me to not even mention really orgs until you got into like one of the final rounds or so. That might put you over the edge in the final round, but it's not going to make them look at you straight off the bat.
What in the world? That's so dumb because
that's what Audrey told me.
That's literally so dumb because like I bet all four of us here like we have people IRL, we got our peeps and our friends and everything, but we literally the purpose we play orgs, like we want to meet people and we get along with people IRL, but the sole purpose we mainly do it is because we love these shows so much that we want to play them.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to play
And
with
this
people
gives us
who
a
also love
practice
the show
too.
just as much.
Yeah, and
we're
this
similar.
gives us, and I find the org, like with orgs, it gives us a practice to
Yeah.
the strategy and everything.
Look, if we went on Big Brother, we would be some of the most practiced people in the world at either Survivor or Big Brother or
Any other.
hell. I play like 4 of the challenges. I'm just as experienced as Johnny Bananas. Like,
Shout out to only one left.
yeah,
Hey.
like I mean, either way, getting back into Big Brother All Stars 2. So, who are the 3 veto players again? We said Ian, Tyler, and Nicole Franz.
Ian, Tyler, and Nicole Franzel, yes.
Yeah.
Please be like a torture comp or something like that. Like,
How much? Give me how much do you want it? Nah, they wouldn't do that this early. I'm just kidding.
Give
Give me
me
a pressure cooker. That's what we need.
give me Nicole. Give
No,
me
wait,
Nicole.
No,
And,
I do
wait
not
for
want a pressure
Pacer to
cooker
play.
because
give me Nicole and another unitard.
if we have a pressure cooker, then that means that we're gonna have to listen to Nicole F whining for the next however long she's in it. You really think Nicole F's lasting in endurance for 6 hours?
Oh no, but like she'll complain after she gets eliminated. Oh, my arm! It's not fair.
Do y'all feel like we're gonna be getting the wall early this season?
I hope
Wall
so.
HOH?
Yeah.
No, I think that's gonna be a final 11.
No, I think that's gonna be if they have a comeback. I think it'll be after the first 4.
Oh, also,
That's
I
the
do want to
11.
mention, and Keisha's exit interview with ET Canada. The interviewer said, "Hopefully, you get your phone back soon." So that makes me think that, like, if she was actually evicted, she would already have her phone back right now.
They get their phones back. I forget if it's 1 day or 2 days after they get evicted. That's been a standard for a while now.
I
still think
also
there's
want to
I
talk
still think
about
there's something going on behind the scenes.
There could be. I'm not denying that.
how do you guys feel about them being able to tweet once a week?
Like, do they get to go on Twitter themselves, or do they get to tell somebody what to say? Like,
I think they might get to tell people what they want to say.
I
Either
assume
that or like there's a free open like they get their phone or they get a phone that has their Twitter on it and they get to like type out a message and then they hand it back to production or something like that. I know they're not allowed to see Twitter, but they get to tweet something once a week.
Who cares? I don't know. To me, it's like I don't care about any of that. But I guess some people do. I don't even follow most of these people on Twitter. I may follow Ian Terry on Twitter. Maybe Janelle too. That's about it.
I honestly don't have a Twitter, so like it's not a plus or minus thing for me.
I also saw on Twitter some people were coming for Janelle for attacking Nicole F, which I find very ironic because and hypocritical.
Like Nicole F?
Damn it.
Nicole F does have like some few stands, but I will say that
casuals.
Nicole F has been talking about Janelle non-stop on the feeds.
And making her look like a bad person, which is not okay.
It's so annoying, and it's because of that deal with Rachel or whatever. And Janelle's friends with Rachel. Do you guys know about that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's...
I also want to talk about, like, I don't know if we've mentioned this, but once again, allegedly, there was a 8-person alliance, and it just so happens to include the people in a 6-person alliance right now, but it also had included 2 people who are not in the game right now.
Josh and Casey.
No.
Preseason?
Oh, Dan and Derek.
Yes, preseason, yes.
Oh, yeah, no, Dan and Derek made, I thought it was an 8-person alliance they made, but yeah.
Yeah, it has 6 people plus them. Like the 6 that are aligned right now, plus them.
I don't necessarily think that Derek was ever going to play. I think that he wanted to set Cody up for success,
Yeah,
honestly. And that's exactly what he did. But it's annoying because, like, why can't we let people start playing for themselves? Why do we have to have Cody going in with an upper hand and Nicole Franzel going in with an upper hand because of something Derek did, like outside of the game?
Why do we have to have pre-gaming? In
Right.
general? Like, I don't know. I didn't enjoy the pre-gaming. I thought it was. I mean,
I
I thought
don't
it
like
was
the
really
pre-gaming
disrespectful.
either. I think it really ruined the season, and I don't understand. Like, not ruin the season. The season's not ruined yet, but it's just like I don't want it. I fear it could ruin the season. And I really don't want it to. Like, I think, and it makes me so mad how in Sequester, literally they were all sequestered and they knew they got contacted for All-Stars, and literally they allowed them to have their phones in the beginning of the sequester phases. And so they were able to text people and contact people for this.
They're always allowed to do that is the thing. But I guess they just didn't expect.
For this season, they shouldn't have, because it's all returnees. Newbie season, fair enough, because those people are not going to know each other.
See, the thing about it is, I don't think you can avoid a returnee season. I don't think you can avoid pre-gaming. I think it's going to happen regardless, especially in the COVID world that we have right now, where they had to be in sequester longer and like contracts were put into effect, and it was a longer process. I don't think there was any way to avoid the pre-gaming, but it getting to the level it did kind of soured the beginning.
It was ridiculous.
Look, they don't check for phones. Like Janelle said, Boogie snuck his phone into Sequester in Big Brother 14 and literally got to look at the cast, and that's how he knew who to pick. And that's why he picked Frankie, Ian, and honestly, I forget who he picked third. But he had Frank and Ian on his team. Sorry, Frankie and Frank are about the same level for me, so whatever. But either way, so they're not checking that much for phones and crap like that. Like they don't try to stop you from breaking the rules, and that sucks. What do we think, though, kind of getting back into the season, what most of the people are watching the podcast for, this season of Big Brother All-Stars? Who do we think is going home? Is David going to go home against Nicole A? Is that what the house wants?
I think Nicole A will definitely go home over David if they want to take a shot at now.
I think Memphis is just so like sidelined by like what he thinks is happening that he refuses to look at what's actually happening, which is really good for Kaysar and Janelle. Because if Nicole Anthony stays on that block, I genuinely think she's going home. Especially if somebody like Bailey gets put in her place.
But I do think the thing about Nicole, I hate that we would have to lose Nicole A, but I do think that
I don't.
I have no opinion.
Because I fully expect a Memphis boot next week, to be honest, if somebody from that alliance wins HOH.
Oh, please.
My issue with Nicole A is her gameplay is by far worse than it was on 21.
I agree.
Her reads are terrible.
The two people she had like on lock that like had her back are Janelle and Kaysar. And I guess today she's been going around to like Danny and Nicole F and telling them every single thing that Janelle has been telling her.
That's the thing. Like, Janelle cannot do anything in this game without people ratting it out. Like, she literally stands no chance. Like, it's not
the issue.
She's in an unfair hand this season. I don't even think it's fair. Like,
the biggest issue Janelle's running.
The Janelle obsession in the house is really starting to get very annoying.
Right.
The biggest issue with Janelle right now is she's the only all-star on that season besides Danny. And when you put a bunch of second chancers and with all-stars, well, I guess Nicole F and Ian are considered all-stars by win. Kevin would be more suited for a second chance season for me.
Kevin's an all-star. He earned that title.
He was the best player of Big Brother alive.
Right, I agree.
I think that's fair. But, like, when you're one of the only all-stars in a game, and everybody in that, and you're the scariest all-star in the game, people aren't going to want to work with you. And Janelle completely dominated 2 seasons back to back. And when I say completely dominated, I mean the only way people took her out was when they beat her in an HOH at the very end. If Janelle would have won HOH on either of those seasons, she would have been guaranteed to win.
I will say, I think people becoming more obsessed with, I don't like to use that word, but like people are becoming obsessed with Janelle. I think Kaser's actually in a decent spot now. I don't think that I think he's going to make the jury this time. I really do. Because people like Cody and there's one other person talking about it, but
Tyler.
people are starting to want to work with Kaser now.
I know Tyler likes Kaser, and I know Cody kind of likes Kaser.
I do think we might lose Janelle pre-jury, but I think Kaser might be okay.
Which is so ridiculous because Janelle as a person by herself isn't that scary. She's been out of it for 8 years now.
Yeah.
And her showing in 14 wasn't that great. So, like, the last time she, quote, dominated a game was 15 years ago. So,
I think
don't
Janelle
really...
still would have been, I think she still would have been in trouble, though, and a target early on, even if Kaser wasn't there. Because, like, Janelle is Janelle.
Oh, it would have been worse if Kaser wasn't there.
Yeah, she would have had someone else.
She would have went first, I think.
Fighting for her team.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you know, if there was a competition beast there, she could have not won the safety sweep.
Mm-hmm.
Do we know who all competed in the safety sweep, by the way, other than Christmas, obviously? Did Ian compete?
I don't believe he did. I know Nicole A didn't, and that's why she's on the block.
David, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who competed, actually.
Yeah, they didn't say, like, I didn't see anything where
maybe Christmas
I didn't
was the only
anywhere
one.
where they did.
No, I don't believe Christmas was the only one. Davon played.
Davon.
Seven people played.
Are you sure Davon played? Because I heard this morning
just
that
kidding.
She didn't.
Just
play.
kidding.
Okay. Yeah.
It was Enzo, Danny, Nicole A, Tyler, Memphis, Nicole F, and Christmas. Oh no, those are the ones that still have their passes. They did play.
Wait, you just said Christmas?
Besides Christmas. So the people who still have their passes and will play next week are Enzo, Danny, Nicole A, Tyler, Memphis, and Nicole F.
Unless Nicole A gets evicted.
Unless Nicole A gets evicted.
Honestly, I think we're losing Nicole A this week. I really do.
Honestly, like, I don't know. She's actively she's kind of like what the DNC did this year, where you have the win, you're running to the end of the goal line, and then you fucking yeet it like 50 yards back, and you just lose the game. Like, that's what Nicole A did. She could have just worked with Janelle and Kaser, and I think that honestly, if she was just confident, if she just like believed them, but she's like, her and Kevin are like pairing Tyler and Janelle and Cody together, and it's like, what? Like, why? Like, I don't understand it. I don't understand Nicole A this season, and honestly, I didn't really understand her too much last season. I liked her, don't get me wrong, but like,
she was literally the yellow crayon. She was the brightest. She was the yellow. When I say brightest crayon in the Bible. Well, she was the sunshine in a house full of storming clouds.
See, that's the thing. Like, I think BB21 was very, very traumatic for her, and I think it might be too early for her to come back into the game. I think it was way too early for her to decide to come back, period. Or anyone from 21 for that matter, because
sorry.
No, you're fine. I was basically done with my...
Let's think about the first All-Star season. 6 and 7. The people that played 6 and then went back in the game and played 7, they pretty much had the exact same results. Kaser was pre-jury. Was James pre-jury, or did he make early jury again? I actually forget about him. But I know that he tried to make side deals outside of his alliance, just like he did in season 6. Janelle dominated, but was still a target throughout the entire game. And Howie just kind of was there So they all played just like they did the previous season. That's why I was like, yeah, I would have preferred not to see anyone from. Honestly, I would have preferred not to see anyone from 18 onwards. Not gonna lie, but like,
Rockstar.
okay, she would have been fine. Like, one of the couple tolerable people, okay, but like,
But well, here's the thing. Well, and I think here's the thing. Well, there's a difference I find when you're talking about that between Nicole and David, and then there's a difference between the BB6 reps that came back for Big Brother
I
7.
got
The
David.
difference I find in it, and the reason why I think they came back and they played a game, and maybe why Nicole. Because y'all mentioned 21 was a traumatic experience for her, well, and David as well. Well, Big Brother 6 was not full of racists. It was not full of nasty, toxic, a bunch of nasty, toxic people that were in that house. They were not. It was not filled with crazy bullies.
I don't know. The friendship wasn't that likable. I mean, they were kind of bullies. I didn't like them at least. Like,
But you're
outside of
talking,
maybe
and
a
then
vet.
you're also talking about. Here's the thing: you have sweet little Nicole and nice, kind David, and then for you guys, and then the others, you got Janelle, who doesn't care, like who's like fuck yeah. Then you got Howie, who's just a crackhead. Then you got James, and then you got Kaser.
I mean, I prefer them. I don't know.
If
I'm
you
just saying,
compare the two groups, even though Nicole and David's a smaller group, if you compare the two groups, literally,
I don't know. I prefer more. I want more fight. Like, I want these people to have a reason to exist. I don't know. It feels like right now that or I'm not gonna say nobody, because there are some people who are playing some games, whether they be good or Memphis. But I mean, am I wrong? But like David, for example. David needs to play harder. He's not playing hard enough. I get he wants to lay low, but he's at a point right now where he can't lay low. He's on the block. That is when that's anyone who lays low on the block, unless they're up against a firecracker, which he's not. He's up against Nicole A. Should be fighting and playing harder. And I'm not seeing it from David. I want him to play harder. I'm rooting for him personally because I think he got really fucked over last time. And honestly, I think he's kind of getting fucked over this time by another. I'm not going to call Memphis racist quite yet, but
Can I add one more thing in real quick?
yeah, go for it.
I know that people like Danny and that group of people are talking about, I think it was pre-veto pick. They were talking about throwing the veto so that David would pull himself off, and then Janelle or Kaser would go up. But they don't understand that Memphis is not going to put up Janelle or Kaser.
He's going to put up Bailey, which I'm still confused about because I swear he said that he wanted Bailey in his alliance, and then he talked about it when he was talking to Danny, and then Danny was like, "Well, you can't have Bailey in alliance without Davon," and then he was like, "Oh, okay. Well, then let's replace her with Nicole F."
Yeah, I think it'll be either Bailey or Kevin.
But why, if he wanted Bailey in an alliance with him, then why is he going to nominate her week 2? Like,
because he doesn't have Dan to be his brains this time around.
I mean,
You know, that's
kind
why
of
he
hit the
made it
nail
so
on the
far.
coffin with that.
You
kind of hit the nail on the coffin with that.
You know that's why he made it so far in BB10. Dan was his brain.
No. Look, like he said after he won HOH, he never won HOH. And honestly, I'm kind of glad he never won HOH in Big Brother 10. Because if this is what he does when he wins HOH, then, oh man, we could have seen Dan go home for all we know.
He got the HOH-itis real bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which I guess is fun for an all-star season. It's making the feeds interesting at the very least.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like I don't I wish we would have had a different week. Obviously, I wish Case or Janelle won head of house, or Ian for that matter won HOH, but they didn't. They lost to Memphis, and yeah, just. But
My
here's
favorite thing, honestly, if Ian wins an HOH and takes out his final two's allies, that'll be so fun to watch.
that
Ian
would.
is so good. Oh,
Yeah, I think Ian has definitely like rose in the fandom. I feel like Ian's the one person that, because I know Kaser and Janelle, they have some people that don't like them for whatever reason, but I haven't seen a single person say that they don't at least like Ian. They might not be their number one, but like, could we see an America's favorite player in Ian potentially? Because I can kind of see it. What do you guys think?
I don't know.
I think it's possible for sure.
I think
He's
it's definitely
like, the
possible.
thing is he's, yeah, and especially after his little segment with the autism and everything,
Yeah.
I think he has a lot of fans that are able to relate to him now. Same with Kaser too, because he has it as well.
But okay, hold up. Did they show that on the episode when Kaser said that he did too?
They only showed, that really sketched me out of it. They only showed Ian. They did not show Kaser.
I don't want.
I think they're gonna try and paint a narrative, and Kaser's not a part of that narrative, and that's why they did it. Because Kaser and Ian really aren't on the same side at the moment. So why would they show Kaser and Ian being buddy and nice to each other? That doesn't make sense for
They are.
storyline. But it's
They
also
are.
really, really nasty.
They are kind of like they're not aligning like with the same side, but they're aligning like
With each
together.
other.
Like because like Kaser was like, "I got your back," after like talking about from one person with autism to another. So like
Mhm.
I don't know why they wouldn't show like a side deal. Like I don't know. That weirded me out. I am glad that they did. They showed Kaser's segment where he talks about Big Brother 6 and how he was someone from Iraq during the time. I believe it was
Oh,
right
I love
after the
that.
Iraq War. Um,
Mhm.
Big Brother 6 was 05. I think it ended around then. I'm not 100%. I don't know war history, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm glad they included that segment. I really do wish, and they might have it for later. I wish they showed, because this was something that I watched. It was like David, Bailey, Cody, and a couple other people. I can't remember who, talking about Black Lives Matter. I hope they
Mhm.
show that on the show. I really do. It's important. I know there have been multiple conversations about it in the house, but that's the one that I specifically saw.
I
Uh,
hope they also air Davon and David's talk as well, because
Me too.
that one was very, very important, I think, and it would
I don't
be sorry.
I don't think they will.
about Jackson and Jack.
And
So
Brett.
it was basically
And Brett.
about David's experience last season, and then they went into talk about real world issues, and I think it would be an amazing platform to air that out, because it needs to be like,
I don't think they will, because that makes them look bad, especially when talking about Mitchie, who won the series.
not Mitchie.
I'm doing it.
Mitchie.
Mickey, whatever his name is, I don't know. He's irrelevant to me.
No, they could. I mean, they could cut that part out. I just wish they would like.
I also don't think they will, because this literally just happened not even an hour ago. Kevin started talking about his experiences with racism and homophobia on his season, and they cut the feeds.
He was
They
probably
also
gonna
did
mention
that.
their production's favorite Dick to
Well,
Suck, Jeff.
Yeah, they
well,
also cut the feeds when Kevin was talking about how Jeff was being homophobic and stuff
Well,
as
this
well.
one wasn't even about Jeff. This one was about Brayden.
Braden Baca, yeah. Well, I think that the reason they cut the feeds for that kind of stuff is because you have to sign a waiver to be talked about in the Big Brother house. Or if you were on I think if you were on like a certain past season, like whenever your contract ends, I guess, with CBS, because you sign a contract with them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why they cut the feeds for that, because they're not supposed to be talking about people that like haven't signed waivers, and I'm sure Big Brother did not go to Braden from Big Brother 11 and be like, "Hey, can you sign this waiver so Kevin can talk shit about you?" Um, so
Mhm.
I don't think that is malicious on Big. That part is malicious on Big Brother's part. I think that's them just trying to not get sued, which that's fair, I guess.
But also, like,
Can we also say too, but
if they have all the footage from Big Brother 11, so it's not slander if it's the truth.
Oh no! Don't get me wrong. I, I think they should do it, but I understand why that they're doing it because they can't just play the feed from Big Brother 11 where Braden said it, like cut from the, like. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like they can't just.
Yeah.
It could
But
create it.
what
It
I'm
could
what
create a
I'm
thing.
saying is Braden could try and sue them, but the only thing that he could really sue them for is slander. And if they have the footage of him saying that, it's not slander.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I'm all for it. I think they should just allow them to say pretty much anything about past house guests at the very least.
Mm-hmm.
But I do understand the decision. Like I don't think it's them trying to protect them. I think it's them trying to protect themselves.
Oh,
Uh,
for sure.
it's not them trying to be like, oh yeah, we really want to protect Mickey because we're gonna definitely bring Mickey back this season or a third season. No,
I really don't know why Mickey got a. I know this is off topic, but like I don't know why Mickey got away with so much last season. It
because he
drives
was
me nuts.
oh yeah, he ate like
made
eating when he was a have-not.
Oh, also, I have a question for y'all. How do you feel about kind of the misguidance that the episode had in regards to the Kevin versus Keisha vote being debated about? Because I think it was
Oh
cut and clear
yeah,
Keisha
I
going home the whole
do.
time.
Literally,
Wait,
Keisha
I'm
was
sorry.
going home on the feeds, and they made it seem like people were very indecisive about sending Keisha and Kevin home when that was not the reality at all.
Well, well, actually, Christmas was talking about getting Keisha out the door, as well as Janelle and Keisha, Kevin out the door, as well as Janelle and Kaser. They weren't 100% wrong, um, and I understand it because they have to they have to get an episode out of something. And
Yeah.
let's. I mean, last week was boring. I mean, come on, like. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't boring, but it also kind of was boring. Like it wasn't boring at first, and then it became boring. And this week doesn't sound like it's going to be that boring, but it's because we have a crackhead as HOH. But uh,
I'm
either
just
way,
ready for people to start fighting each other. That's all I'm ready for.
not happening.
Oh my god! I just saw the gif of Enzo riding the banana again, and it just made me cackle.
Oh
And
yeah. Also, I want to say one more thing, kind of going back to the Black Lives Matter thing. Can we talk about how iconic Davon was in her DR after she voted to evict? She said justice for Breonna Taylor.
oh yeah, yeah, that was cool. I forgot to
I
mention
love
it.
that.
Yeah, that was great. Um, just
Mhm.
proves why we stand Devon. I mean,
Mhm.
like I've loved Devon even on. I don't think she's a great game player by any means, but as a person and just like
Oh, she's an
she's
amazing person.
amazing.
I
You
think
can just tell.
this season she's doing pretty well. Like not on
She's
her
got some
reads,
weird
but like
reads.
her social bonds are
Her
pretty good.
position in the
Yeah,
house.
yeah. I don't think her reads are great, but
She does have a good position in the house because apparently, like I thought that Bailey was more cool with Memphis than Davon was, but apparently not because now Memphis wants to nominate her and whatever. So
I'm hopefully thinking that Cody and Enzo won't allow Memphis to put up Bailey because Cody did say somewhere, I can't remember if he was talking to the cameras or what he was like where he was at, but I remember him saying that he likes the Bailey, Davon, Enzo, and him alliance, and he puts that one above
Oh, the
some
Connect
other one.
Four alliance.
Yeah, I remember him saying that
Cody
was.
said that?
Yeah, I think I remember hearing that he said that somewhere that was like his top priority alliance. Those are the people he wants to protect the most. Um, but I can't remember where I heard that from for the life of me.
That'd be cool, you know.
Mhm.
But either way, let's talk really quickly about who we think's gonna win veto, what they're gonna do. We kind of already talked about the renoms, so no reason to talk about that. And then we're gonna wrap this podcast up because it's kind of going on for a long time, and we have derailed a lot. So let's get back on track.
That's our specialty.
At least it wasn't. At least it's not a 2-hour draft.
Sure. So what do you got? Who do you guys think's gonna win the veto out of the 6 that we mentioned? I think it depends what kind of comp we get, but I'm feeling Ian. I don't know.
I think Ian definitely has a good chance.
Oh, I think especially in the group of people that are competing in the veto competition.
I have
It
a feeling.
just depends on what it is.
I actually think it's going to be David. I do. If it's not David, I also think it's going to be Ian. I think it's going to be one of those two for sure.
I'd like David to win because then maybe Memphis can shut up about, oh, is he welcome to Big Brother, blah, 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 blah.
Right. Oh my God. I want it to come full circle. I want David to get off the block this week, win HOH next week, and say something as he puts Memphis on the block. That would be iconic.
Welcome to Big Brother 22 or something. I doubt David would do that, though.
Yeah.
Well, I think Nick said that David was like really mad about the comment that was made to him by Memphis, right?
He was upset, yeah.
I mean,
And rightfully so. Because Memphis was kind of a douche.
Is that what the Cody thing happened? Like right after that, is that why David was kind of? I think he was crying or like he had tears in his eyes. I think.
David had just gotten done crying when Cody did that.
Okay, he had just got done crying. Okay. So unless David or Nicole A win, except for maybe Tyler, maybe if Tyler wins, I don't see the veto being used.
I don't know. I think Nicole F will go against Memphis's wishes, especially because he can't be in power next week.
I think Nicole F would use it on David as well. I think Nicole. I think so because I think Nicole A is pretty doomed this week. Unless she wins the veto.
Well, what if Janelle or Kaser go up?
I don't know if I see that happen. Like at the beginning of this week, I definitely thought that was realistic, but I don't see Memphis caving on that from what he said so far and like how condescending he's been about the whole situation. I don't necessarily see him caving in.
When y'all say condescending, like how is he wording messages to them?
He's been very disrespectful to the women, let's just say that. And then like his comment to David during the nom ceremony just was kind of
I understand that.
douchey.
I'm not like defending him or saying that he's not doing it. I haven't been able to watch the feed, so like I'm just genuinely curious about what he's actually saying
for sure
to people.
Nick, do you remember what he said to Christmas and Danny? And because I remember they were really upset with him too, but
he just kept disregarding them. Like they'd give him their opinion, and he'd just be like, "Yeah, but I'm doing this." And, like, not giving a fuck what they have to say, which is really stupid because that's fucking Danielle Donato.
He doesn't realize that there's 80-something more days left in the game. He's thinking that
he's playing a mini one that's a long-term org.
Yep, he's playing. Yep. He's playing a mini.
I agree.
Which is kind of why his like. Can we talk for just a minute, and after this we'll end the podcast? How stupid of it. Let's have a 6-person alliance. They never meet. They never discuss anything. It's a game of telephone. You already know misinformation is going to happen with somebody.
Facepalm.
Like, that was...
annoying.
Watching that on the episode My grandpa, who is a super fan of Big Brother, by the way, was like, "This guy is an idiot."
Yes,
Like,
Grandpa Jackson.
He's such a king, by the way.
yeah.
I love Tom.
I really don't understand. Like, I just don't get it. I don't get it.
Memphis is playing a lone wolf game, but like with an alliance that he never talks to.
Like, everybody knows how telephone works. The story completely changes by the time it gets to the end. So why would you want an alliance like that? Like, I just don't get it.
Look, Memphis thinks he's on the Whisper Challenge when he's on Big Brother. So.
Yeah.
Not the whisper challenge.
Either way, very quickly, I'm going to do this because it sounds fun. To wrap this up, I'm going to name a player, and we're all going to say one word to describe how their week has been so far, how their first, I believe this is day 9 or 10, how their first 9 or 10 days have been in the Big Brother house. So let me pull up the cast real quick. We'll do it alphabetically. Actually, first we'll start. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. Well, since she was in the week, I guess we'll start with Keisha, since she technically was there. So,
Meh.
Birthday.
sorry.
Cheers.
My words are about to be. I'm about to troll on this so badly, so you've been warned.
Bailey.
Surprising?
Black girl magic.
That's 3 words.
That's 3 words, Grace.
I don't care. I'm counting it as 1 word. Okay, fine. Davon. I don't know.
I'm gonna say social.
Strong. Christmas.
I'm gonna have to go with surprising again.
Santa Claus.
Oh no, my word's Halloween.
Okay.
Valentine's.
Okay, fine. Easter.
Memorial Day with a dash.
You
No,
did 2 words. Alex is gonna jump on you now.
I'm gonna say
Thanksgiving.
competitive.
Turkey. Oh,
Cook.
Ian. Let's use another word. Ian.
Cody.
Annoying. Clown.
Overbearing.
Alliances with like 5 S's.
Controversial. Devon.
Strategic.
Butterfly.
Informative.
Charismatic. Danny.
Under the like
Dick.
UTR. I'm gonna use an acronym for this one.
I'm gonna say strong.
What was the word?
Strong.
Okay.
I was gonna. Oh, also, wait. No, let me not troll on her. Let me actually think of a word for her. Liked. I don't know.
Fake.
That's a good one.
I think strategic could be used for her too, because I do think she's low-key running things, but she's not getting any credit on the episodes at
I
all.
think she's in a very good position right now. She's like in one of the best along with Tyler
Mm-hmm.
and Devon.
David. Veto? Question mark.
I'm gonna say. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna say upsetting due to what's been happening to him.
Softy.
I don't really have one for David. I'm gonna say hopeful.
That's a good one.
Enzo. Banana.
Meow.
I was gonna say banana too.
I'm saying meow. It's every time he's in a DR, he always
Oh wait.
every
Wait.
single DR he has always mentioned the meow meow. He always calls himself in every that I've heard it in every DR, so I'm calling him meow.
Blake, do you want banana? Because I have another word.
I have a different one too.
Okay, go ahead.
Then I'll take banana.
Okay, I'll give Nick banana. Go ahead, Blake.
Jersey.
Brigade.
2.0.
Yeah, basically. Ian.
Adorable.
A king, well, king, just king.
Is overcoming a word?
Safety. That's what I'm gonna say for him too.
Mine's gonna be a picture, and it's gonna be that picture of him with the cigarette, smiling and looking at me. That picture.
Yeah.
That one's so good. Is that from this season?
No, that's from 14.
Yeah,
That's what I thought.
Yeah. Janelle.
Praying.
Obsessors.
Praying.
confident.
Independent.
Good one.
Kaser.
Roles.
Strategic. No.
Sealed.
Took me a second on that one too.
I'm actually gonna
Wyatt.
use. I'm gonna use
No.
UTR on this one because he is going under the radar this week.
Actually,
I stand by strategic.
I'm gonna say star because Kaser's literally. I'm gonna say star too. Kaser's literally been the star of the last 2 episodes that have aired. So
I'm gonna say inspiring.
That's a good one.
Kevin.
lucky.
Infuriating.
I'm gonna use the same one for. Actually, I'll say complaining. I love Kevin so much, but every single confessional is him complaining or whining this season, and it's like, I just want to see your old confessionals. Like,
I'm just trying to think of a word for him.
He has horrible reads too.
Underwhelming.
Obsessed, I'm gonna say.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Robert.
who is Robert?
Memphis.
Oh,
What are you talking about?
Sorry, the
Devin.
Wikipedia called him Robert. Devin.
Eviction because he's going home next week.
lackluster.
I'm just gonna say it's stupid.
Actually, no. Memphis. No. Dang it. That'll be 2 words. I was gonna say Rhonda and Memphis, Rhonda, Tennessee. That's what I call him.
Nicole A.
Rainbows.
Stupid. Stupid.
Rainbows. I'm saying rainbows.
She's so stupid.
The way you said
She's literally so stupid. Like,
Nick
Janelle
really-
has her back 100% and she just turned on her.
Nick really
Idiot.
stepped up and said, "Stupid."
She's stupid.
I'm gonna. Sorry, guys.
No, go ahead.
I'm gonna say ignorant of like the house dynamics is kind of a slightly more positive word.
No, it's stupid. She's
Well,
stupid.
I've already used stupid, so
Okay, since Nick said stupid, I'll say
And
dumb.
she's also friends with a racist, so she's stupid.
Wait, who?
Mickey.
Wait, she's friends with him?
Yes.
Oh, ew.
Ew.
I don't like that. Nicole F.
Obsessed.
Stupid.
Obsessed. That's the obsessed one.
Compulsory.
I have it right here. Rats.
Okay, so no one took whiny. Okay, I'll take whiny.
I'm gonna say compulsory because her obsession with Janelle is compulsive.
Yeah, I'm gonna say whiny. What was your word, Blake?
Obsessed.
Obsessed. Okay, yeah, next. And the final one, Tyler.
Surprising.
Ramen.
Did I use surprising?
Yeah, you've
I
used
think
it
I've used surprising
twice.
like twice now. I'm gonna say enjoying. No, that's stupid.
No, you said Nicole A
Nick's
was stupid.
vocabulary consists of stupid, 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 and stupid tonight.
I'm gonna say entertaining.
I'm gonna say final two words.
Oh damn, that's 2 words.
Oh, deals.
Alliances, I guess.
Okay,
You already used
mine's
that one for Cody.
2 words too. Don't clock me.
That's
Friendship
2 words,
goals.
Blake.
Say that's 3.
Whatever. Friendship goals. Friendship goals for sure.
Okay. Well, that was fun. I like that. That might be how we cap off every podcast. That's something I really like doing. But to the viewers, thank you if you're still here, which I doubt you are, but thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked it, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload by the Disney Nerd. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.
Bye.